Hey, welcome in. We are back with another career tiny home. If you've never caught these videos, this is a series I have been doing for quite some time. I have been working my way through the ABCs of the careers and creating tiny homes for them. Why tiny homes? Well, because tiny homes are literally top tier. They're so great. And if you don't have tiny living, I suggest it. It's such a great little pack. Tiny homes, depending on the tier that you're in, whether that is a 32 tile home, a 64 tile home, or a 100 tile home, will allow you to potentially gain skill faster, gain relationships faster. You feel fine all the time. Your bills are cut in half. And each tier has a different variety. So from 65 tiles to 100 tiles, you're living in a small home. So you will get the perks of lighten the load and you get feeling fine all the time. So lightening the load means that you're using less energy, so your bills are going to be less. Feeling fine all the time means that happy and focused buffs, as well as inspired buffs, will last twice as long. When you're in a 33 to 64 tile home, which is what this is, it's a tier 2 and it's a tiny home. You have the 2 perks from before, but you also have, you got the touch. Your skills will increase double the rate. And then you have cozy comforts, which means everything is twice as comfortable, which is really nice, especially when you're starting out. You may not have the best bed, the best chairs. Now, in a micro home, it's 32 tiles or less, which is totally doable, and I have done it before with this challenge. However, I really like the sweet spot of a tiny home. I feel like you have room for everything, and you're still getting really great perks. But in a micro home, everything is just chef's kiss, okay? Your relationship gains are doubled, and your plants grow twice as fast, as well as skills and feeling great and comfortable and feeling fine all the time. Like, it's really top tier to have a micro home. It just doesn't always leave a lot of room more than just living. With these homes, I'm catering them towards what skills you're going to need in the career that you have chosen. And because of that, micro homes don't always leave a whole lot of room for extra skill building items. With all of that being said, I wanted this fireplace in the corner. So I knocked out the walls, alt placed it back a little bit, put the walls back. And I have to say, I love the way it turned out. It's so cute. It's on its little platform. It changes a little bit. But I just had to talk about it real quick because I really like the way it looks. This is the freelancer career, which really leaves it up to interpretation because you can choose a couple different things with a freelancer. You can choose to be a freelance programmer, you can be a freelance writer, a freelance artist, as well as a freelance creator and a freelance photographer. So leaves it up to your interpretation what career you want to go for. However, my thought was this sim is a freelance artist. So maybe they are a little bit off the grid. Now, everything is on the grid. I didn't go that crazy with this, but maybe they like living off in the woods. That way they can really hone in on their skills. And that brought me to this cabin vibe. You're off in the woods. We're in Hinford on Bagley in this scenario, up in the little bit of a hilly mountain. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this is where you live and where you can let those creative juices flow. Sorry. I knew the sim was going to need a lot of different things, but still needed to have the basics. I wanted this to feel like a cozy space where your sim really could get work done. I created this little nook area that had floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, courtesy of the Book Nook kit, of course, and used that really pretty green chase lounger as just a comfy little sofa that you can relax on to read a book in front of the fire write a book. Not that your Sims can just sit there and write a book, pen to paper. But it's always fun to use your imagination in The Sims and see where that takes you. The kitchen I kept really kind of small and quaint. We used horse ranch cabinets because I loved the rustic feel of them. And then I used Growing Together for the fridge, stove, and the range hood. I love them. I think they're so pretty. They come in some great colors and they match perfectly. I decided to use the Seasons windows. They have such a great wooden swatch, and I love how they just all match really well to each other. The Seasons windows come in so many different varieties, and I love that, actually. I think it's really great. I do mix up a couple of different windows from like cottage living in there, but for the majority of the house, Seasons really what we go for. And I kind of use that nice like dark cherry swatch almost. It's not overly reddish brown, but I think it's really pretty and I love it. We use horse ranch for the flooring. I tried to use the city living one that I love so much, but it just wasn't going to work out the way I wanted it to. Horse ranch is so nice though. I like that rustic wood. Like I said, with the kitchen, those cabinets, they look really rustic. We're talking cabin-esque. So we wanted the wood to have really good shadowing and texture to it. I also use horse ranch for the columns that are inside and outside the house. That log cabin wallpaper I thought was just perfect. I do end up changing it for the bedroom and for the bathroom, but first glance, just to kind of get that wallpaper in there, it's so pretty. And I just think it makes it really cozy and warm. And that's what you want, right? You're going to spend hours writing a book or hours programming, hours painting. You want your home to be this like safe haven, just so cozy, comfortable, the place you want to go and like relax in after pouring your heart and soul into your work. For the bathroom, I really wanted there to be a bathtub because I want you to be able to get rid of burnout because it happens. There's no way to get past it. You know The Sims. Your sim will inevitably get burnt out and need to go take a bubble bath and get some of that time taken away. At first, we use a base game bathtub. I do end up changing it to cottage living. That way, everything matches a little bit better color-wise. As for tile, I tried out a couple different ones. I end up going with this green one. I just think it's so pretty. The bathtub has green on it. And then we use this nice little brown tile. There's just, once again, something really cozy and warm about it, especially when you look at all the gold fixtures on everything. I think it's just gorgeous. I got to use Book Nook Kit a little more. I just had to, and put all these stacks of books because this sim is a bookworm. They love writing. They love reading. I just find them to be this creative, artsy sim. And I just imagine them going through all their books. Maybe that's why their bookcases are a little empty because they're pulling books and haven't put books away to the TBR list. I wanted to do some sort of tile behind the fireplace because it just makes sense. You've got this wood burning fireplace that you would have some sort of tile to protect your walls. I didn't like seeing the tile at the top of the wall. So we used this Love Struck backsplash. I really like the red and blue swatch, but I was going in greens. But because I liked the red and blue so much, we changed up the color scheme and I turned that sofa red, like a reddish orange, and kind of bring more of the red into the room and get rid of that green altogether. I do go ahead and give your sim a digital camera. I give them an art easel. They're going to get a little candle making station so they can do some of these freelance careers automatically. For the bedroom, I use this above deck wallpaper. I like how kind of serene it is. And then it's got that dark wooden paneling on the bottom to kind of bring everything together. I give your sim a frame TV. First of all, it looks like a picture. So perfect. And then, your sim's going to need to chill and be able to relax and have fun. I put this little eco lifestyle shelf right here because there needed to be something in this corner. And then I go ahead and put a little radio speaker on top so your sim can listen to music and dance. And once again, get their fun up and hopefully bring that burnout down. The little computer station consists of the beautiful werewolf's desk. It's a little like one tile desk. It's so perfect and very antique looking. Love it. Then we've got the cottage living typewriter computer, which is so cute and just adds into this cabiny old world feel. I also get to use the werewolf's trunks, which I love. You need a dresser for your Sims. And there's just something so lovely about that little trunk dresser. I love it. I really do. It's so cute. Of course, having to add green, put plants everywhere, really making this space cozy, warm, welcoming, a place you want to be. At this point, I have not play tested this house, but don't fret. I will play test it before it goes on the gallery. Want to make sure that as lovely as it is, that you can get in here and play and use everything. So I have this little 3 window. It's one window, but obviously has the 3 panels, panes, whatever you want to call it. But nothing was slotting right to it. And so I ended up getting rid of it and taking the single windows and just placing them down next to each other. And then I was able to go ahead and use the little bistro kit curtains. They're really frilly and dainty. And I felt like it added to this relaxing, calming vibe of the bedroom. I wanted to put curtains over the door, but really struggled knowing which curtains I wanted to use. Some of them were a little weird and glitched a little, and the window panes would be like on top of the curtain. It's so weird. But I also didn't want it to feel weird and disconnected. I end up using the Movie Stuff Hangout little curtains. I love these. I think they're so pretty. Probably a big go-to item for me. They come in a nice plain swatch. They can take up a wide space if you need them to, or you can even overlap them a little bit if you need to. Like, just top tier in my opinion. And I love the way it looks. Just once again, adding this really like cozy vibe to the whole place. I used this magic carpet rug right when you walk in. Like, I love how it looks. I think it's so nice. I actually wish we had more swatches, but the red and blue obviously fit the homework. You know what I mean? Like, we've got the blue and red tile, and now we've got this really nice blue and red rug. We are now outside, desperately in need of last minute details for the outside of the house, as well as some landscaping. We use the for rent trim on the house, which I just think is so pretty, dainty, and I love it. It's a great day when I get to use it. Then we're using horse ranch on the foundation, the platform, the columns as well. Like I said, seasons for the windows. And then adding in a little bit of the cottage living to bring in that cozy vibe. You got to get in here, of course, and create a chimney. I used the last 2 tiles of my 64 tile and then use some half walls. Just once again, bringing these last minute details to make this house so sweet. We used the horse ranch staircase, railings, and fencing to kind of fence in this front porch area. And the front porch area doesn't do a whole lot in the end. It really is just going to house a couple plants. Because we're kind of out in the woods, I definitely wanted to add a couple of trees around the house to kind of fill in the space. And then, of course, the like beautiful movie stuff pack tree with the lanterns, because this sim needs a space to read. So I'm adding some stones in and kind of enlarging them just to fill in some space and bring in the surrounding area. There's a word that I'm looking for that I can't think of. The environment. To bring in some of the environment. Then it's the fun of landscaping, and we're using the pale low-lying flowers to kind of edge out a little bit of an area where we're going to house the rest of our flowers. I decided to go in this yellow and orange theme with the flowers. It felt like it tied in a little bit of the bumblebee, And I just really loved the way it looked. So I am just going through all the different plants, finding their yellow or orange swatch, and just playing around with it until I'm happy with it, honestly. I wanted to create a little artist area outside that looked very much like you could pack it up and take it inside. Obviously, the Sims aren't going to do that. But we used just a few things from the new artist studio kit. So we're going to use the easel, this little rolling cart, the paint brushes. Okay, so like half the things from the new studio kit. But it's just all so good and so cute. And I love the dirty painted swatches because it's so realistic. It's so realistic. But like I said, I wanted this to look very mobile. You could drag your cart up the stairs and park it on the porch or, just something that looked movable and not permanent. I angled it to this little area because I was scoping out. And of course, we're on this like mountain hillside. It's gorgeous. And so everywhere is a beautiful view. But I really liked this view. You had like the big mountains in the background. And I thought that would be a great like reference point of painting. Got to get that trash can in there. And then it makes me realize, oh, we need a mailbox. So got our trash cans, our mailbox. We have our little painter area. Now I was looking for the Love Struck romantic blanket, and I didn't know that it wasn't in the rugs. If you're looking for it, it's actually where you can find your planter boxes in that little outside section. So we go ahead and lay out the romantic blanket, just, whatever you need it for. However, I'm going to put some pillows down and put a stack of books and add the little open journal to look like your sim is out there laying down, reading a book, or maybe they're writing a little bit, journaling, whatever that looks like for your sim. So we just create this little space, and I make sure not to put anything on the blanket in case you need it for anything, honestly. Yeah, so you can find it in the activities and skills where you can find your planter box, which activities and skills, really. Guess we're working on that romance skill. This is your little candle making station because you can be a creator and use fabricating skills for a freelance job. So we add that in as well. So we're just adding a little bit of terrain paint and bringing everything to life. I don't do any crazy stonework outside. I just try to make it look like you would see it in the real world. There'd just be a little dirt, But this big open space was killing me internally. I knew that there needed to be something right there, but I just wasn't sure what should go there. I didn't feel like a picnic table right there in the middle or a bench by itself was going to take up space and look right. So I go ahead and create a pond. And I have to say, it just fills that space so nicely. It's not overly big. It's just a little tiny pond with a little duck who lives there, a mallard to be specific, because I love mallard ducks. I think they're so cute, but it just adds a little something extra. So go ahead, add some lily pads, add the duck, and really just incorporate this into the world. I use a couple of the Riviera stones because I like the way that they look and they're already a little bit bigger. Giving it a little terrain paint as well, making it look very muddy pond-like. And then I wanted to add a bench under this tree. And I used the City Living one in this really pretty painted swatch because I feel like this sim has just painted this bench themselves. And then to kind of incorporate that a little bit more, I go ahead and use the picnic table from City Living once again in this darker wooden swatch that looks a little painted itself. And this house is just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just super in love with it and the way it turned out. Like, someone let me live here. It would have to be a little bit bigger, honestly. I've got 2 kids and some sisters. But I love this house. Really now, it's literally the littlest of details, like putting a little plant on top of the table, adding some of the Love Struck window boxes, and then putting a couple plants on the porch as well. But we're basically done, so I think it's time we go ahead and jump into these screenshots and take a look at this freelancer's home. I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, Let me know your thoughts if you're enjoying the way that this little series is going. We are definitely moving along. Next up, we're going to be doing the gardening career, which came with the season's expansion pack. So that'll be fun to do. I'm just super happy with the way that this house turned out, and I hope you really like it too. If you like this house, you can have it for yourself. It's playtested and on the gallery. My EAID is katxthrash, just like the name here on YouTube. Also, if you're feeling a little more gameplay, we just started James Turner's Every Life Stage Challenge. So that's actually what the next video will be about. We'll be having some fun with our sim Annabelle and getting busy all over again. And then after that, we should see the beautiful gardening home. We'll get going on that and keep on with this A to Z series of tiny career homes in The Sims 4. I hope you have a great night wherever you are. Bye, y'all.